Global stocks surged today as signs of possible trade talks between the U.S. and China lifted risk sentiment after lackluster earning results from tech bellwethers Apple and Amazon fueled worries about the impact of a global trade war. China's Commerce Ministry said the United States has repeatedly expressed its willingness to negotiate on tariffs and that Beijing's door is open for talks in a move that could ease trade tensions that have roiled global markets. Markets in Asia extended gains at the closing bell. Japan's Nikkei gained over 1%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng surged 1.7%. And Chinese markets were closed for a long holiday, and they will resume trading on Wednesday. Over in the U.S., markets await non-farm payroll numbers later today, which are forecast to have increased by 130,000 jobs last month after rising by 228,000 jobs in March. U.S. stocks rose on Thursday, driven by positive tech earnings and a slightly better than expected manufacturing report. Even though it showed factory activity contracted further last month, investors were disheartened by the earnings from Apple and Amazon. Strong results from Microsoft and Meta platforms earlier in the week had also raised hopes that tech industry could weather the tariff storm. The S&P 500 gained 0.6%, while Nasdaq was up 1.5%, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.17 to 40,752. Your local markets, the all-share index is currently up 0.7% at 92,214. The rand is trading at 18 rands 39 to the US dollar. It's sitting at 20 rands 84 cents to the euro and at 24 rands 45 cents to the pound. A quick look at our commodities. Gold is trading at $3,258, while platinum is sitting at $967 per ounce, and Brent crude oil is at $61.86 a barrel. Our market analyst for today is Victor Seanie. He is with Benguela Fund Managers. He's a fund manager there. Thank you so much, Victor, for joining us. Firstly, let's wrap up the week locally. I know one thing that definitely did stand out is the whole budget process. We finally know what's going to be happening. What are in your books at Benguela? I believe that Victor is currently, his picture is frozen, and the team is currently trying to get hold of him. Let's try again. Victor, I hope you can hear us now. We are hoping that you can wrap up the week that was for us. We were looking a lot at the budget process this week and how it would go down. I can certainly hear you. I hope you can hear me.
All right. Yes.
Yes. There we go. There we go.
Yes. Just to wrap up this past week, it was a relatively quiet week. As you see, we've had a three-day working week, and I think on the local front, the highlights was really MTN Nigeria reporting its results. We saw a positive bounce back in its results because of the Nigerian operation being allowed to increase their tariffs for the first time in more than a year. They've been seeking a tariff increase, but to no avail for quite some time. And so their tariff increase kicked in the middle of February in the region of about 40% increase. And so that drove their results significantly. The only other local story was two companies involved in the car industry in South Africa. First, We Buy Cars came out with a trading statement for the 6 months to March.
Yeah.
Their growth, after being really strong over the past number of years, has come in at a muted increase in headline earnings per share, only up between 0 and 4%. And similarly, a combined motor holding, CMH, they reported their results for the 6 months to February. Headline earnings were down 26%. And they cite weaker consumer confidence. Consumers are a bit more strained, and they are holding on to their cars for a lot longer. We also did see a quarter of this year that consumer confidence hit its lowest level in about 2 years in South Africa as an indicator. And otherwise, in currencies, the rand was stronger on the backdrop of a weaker dollar. And then lastly, gold had a breather this week after hitting an all-time high last week of 3,500 rand. As some of the most extreme geopolitical and trade tensions are slowly
Oh man, it looks like the gremlins are in the system. We wanted to hear from Victor. I wonder if the team can still get him, so we can just get him to raise a little bit about the US and Asia. I understand that, is he gone? I understand that he's gone. He's back? Right. Okay. Victor, you're back quickly. The gremlins are really trying to disrupt our talk today. But Asia and the US meeting today to evaluate that offer from Washington to engage in business in discussions regarding the 145 tariffs. Just a short while ago, I spoke to ABSA about this and about what could go wrong. What would be an ideal agreement for both countries in this scenario?
I think a key swing factor would be one of the two parties between China and the US backing down from, at this point, they've been both defiant. Trump insisting on his way, and China also saying that they have their own preconditions to trade talks. They said, one, if the US insists on fighting, they will fight to the end. But if the US wants to talk, the door is open to talk. But the key for China is that the US backs down from its unilateral. So it is going to be a testy time, but eventually one of the parties will crack, and I think we'll end up with a far less draconian trade regime than the status quo.
Don't we all want that and all looking forward to that? Victor Seanie from Benguela Fund Managers, thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. That was our markets for now.